And one last reminder to go ahead and mute when you're not talking. It'll help cut back on background noise.
If
The
everyone
YouTube
could
stream is up.
silence their phones too.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to get started right at 2 o'clock.
Do we have a moment? Have you started yet, Matt?
Yes, but we've got about 10 people watching right now. I can reach out to you via the chat if you need something.
I think Councilman Bergen's trying to get a message to us.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Is that in the chat or did you receive an email?
Neither. JR is still on. JR's on mute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. No, you were muted up until that point. Okay, we're hearing some background noises. Not sure what that is.
Oh, it's working now. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Thank you so much.
Once again, good afternoon and thanks for joining us. We're going to get started promptly at 2 o'clock.
So just as a reminder, we want everyone on mute except when you're talking.
Okay.
Matt, do you know what that sound is?
Yeah, somebody's got something in the background. I'm trying to narrow it down.
Is it a window open, perhaps?
Well, it looks like John Cochran is unmuted. I'm going to mute him for a moment. Right now, it's only you, myself, and JR.
No, JR's muted.
Yep. Okay.
There it goes.
Okay, so it's John's setup. So yeah, John, if you just make sure to stay muted until you're talking, whatever that, it sounds almost like electrical interference for hearing that noise. And for everyone in the audience, we're going to get started momentarily at 2 o'clock. Thanks for your patience.
Hey, Matt, do you want me to chat with the attendees to see if anyone's here on the public hearings?
Sure.
Yeah, if we can get that information ahead
I
of time,
just
that'll be
enabled that
helpful.
chat if you want to reach out. Once again, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get started in just a moment. Okay, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Just a quick heads up, this meeting is being streamed live on YouTube and recorded. And with that, let me hand things over to Supervisor Carpenter.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the May Town Board meeting. Again, it's a virtual meeting because of the situation that we're in due to the coronavirus. We're live streaming today, as you just heard, and the broadcast will also be available on Altice's Channel 18, ITV, Verizon Channel 1982, and on the Town of Islip YouTube. So before we go any further, it is May and it is the month of Memorial Day. And unfortunately, because of COVID-19, almost every single Memorial Day commemoration ceremony has been canceled. There are no parades that have been permitted in the town or any other town across the county for that matter. But we don't want to forget our veterans. And we have our own resident veteran on the town board, Councilman John Cochran. And John, I would just ask you if you would just share a few words about Memorial Day and its significance.
Thank you, Supervisor Carpenter.
John?
It's a time to remember those who served. Can you hear me, Angie? Am I on the mic? Okay.
Yeah,
again, thank you for recognizing veterans. It's really important for those who served and gave the ultimate sacrifice to have Memorial Day because it means a lot for us who defended the flag in foreign nations and in this nation. And we see the same kind of feeling today with our essential workers, our doctors, nurses, EMTs, the people who are protecting us here at home. It's just like the yellow ribbon feeling for veterans have. And it really, touched us when we got hugs and thanks, just like we should be doing to our healthcare providers. So we're not going to be forgotten on Memorial Day. And I think we should all reach out as veterans and thank our essential service workers who are keeping us safe during this pandemic. Thank you, Angie.
Thank you so much, Councilman. We are fortunately, as we're going through this COVID crisis, and it's been over 2 months now, finally seeing the number of COVID cases decline every day as we're on the briefing calls with the county executive and the commissioner of health. And this is a direct result of the safe practices that everyone has been following, staying 6 feet apart, wearing our face coverings or our masks, and only leaving your home when it's absolutely essential. At the airport, we've installed, at no cost to the taxpayers, a state-of-the-art air purification system. This system is currently used in hospitals, and Loyal MacArthur Airport is the first airport in the world to be utilizing this technology, in a terminal. Our golf courses are currently open, again, with everyone maintaining safe social distancing protocols. And they opened on May 15th. Well, actually they opened already, but on May 15th, our tennis courts are going to be opening. And those are in keeping with the guidelines issued by the United States Tennis Association. And all of this information is available on the Town of Islip website at islipny.gov. We're also trying to help our businesses that are out there, encouraging everyone to patronize the local businesses. We're in the process now of developing a web page called Islip's Road to Recovery. And this will be a one-stop page on our websites where residents can find businesses that are open for takeout, curbside delivery, pickup, hamlet by hamlet, and how to patronize these businesses going forward. I'd like to also wish everyone good health, encouraging everyone to please stay safe, wear your face covering, keep an appropriate social distance, and only leave your house for essential items like groceries and medication. We're not out of the woods. We have to keep staying the course, continue to do our part so that we can get through this safely. I guess we will call the meeting of the Town of Islip Board to order officially. And we'll begin with our first scheduled public hearing this afternoon for the board's consideration. I'd ask the town clerk to read the first hearing notice, but just reminding everyone, if you are wishing to speak on the public hearing, make sure you communicate that in the chat room. Olga?
Okay, thank you, Madam Supervisor. The first public hearing for today is to consider the transfer of 9 Washington Avenue, East Islip, under the Community Development Agency's direct sale program.
JR, is there anyone here to speak on that hearing?
I do not see, I do see the executive director, Mr. Bowers, but I do not see anyone else in the waiting room who would like to be heard on this application.
Okay, so Mr. Bowers from the CDA is here. Are there any questions from the board on this particular resolution? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. Is there a motion on this hearing?
I'll make a motion. Yes, sorry. I'll make a motion to
Second.
close the public hearing and adopt the resolution.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Bergen and a second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? The motion carries. Madam Clerk, if you would please read the second hearing notice.
Yes, the second hearing is to consider amending the Town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code regarding Schedule G, stop and yield intersections, and Schedule J, parking, stopping, and standing regulations.
Peter Kletchka
Good
is here
afternoon,
from
Madam.
the department. Go ahead, Peter.
Yes, hello. Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the board, Madam Clerk. Peter Kletchka, 401 Main Street, Islip. The Traffic Safety Division has several revisions to the Uniform Traffic Code for your consideration. If there are any questions, I would be happy to answer them at this time.
I don't think anyone has signed up to comment on this particular hearing, have they, JR?
Nope.
Okay, so hearing none, are there any questions for Peter? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and adopt the resolution.
We have a motion by Councilman Mullen, who's made the second.
Second. From Trish.
Okay, we have Councilwoman Bergen making the second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none, the motion carries. Madam Clerk, if you would please read the third hearing notice.
Yes, today's hearing number 3 is to consider a 1-year contract with the Village of Ocean Beach for fire protection and ambulance services to the Atlantic Fire Protection District.
Is there anyone from the public who's signed up to speak on this?
There isn't. We do have Ken Gray with us today. He's the attorney for the Village of Ocean Beach, but I just asked him if he wished to be heard. I don't believe he does.
Okay, thank you, Ken. We have a series of these. So on this first, are there any questions from the board? Hearing none, motion?
I'll
Motion.
make a motion to close the public hearing and approve the resolution.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Madam Clerk, the next hearing notice?
Yes, hearing number 4 today is to consider a 1-year contract with the Incorporated Village of Ocean Beach, the Fire Island Fire Protection District.
Again, any questions on the motion? Is there a motion?
Make the motion to close the hearing and adopt the resolution.
Motion by Councilman Cochran,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, Madam Clerk, number 5.
Number 5 hearing is to consider a 1-year contract with the Village of Ocean Beach for fire protection and ambulance services to the Seaview Fire Protection District.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So this is on the Seaview. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none,
I'll make a
motion?
motion to close the motion from Councilwoman Bergen.
Second.
We have a second? Okay, motion from Councilwoman Bergen, second from Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Aye.
Next, Madam Clerk, number 6.
Number 6 is to consider a 1-year contract with the Village of Ocean Beach for fire protection and ambulance services to the Atlantic Marina Fire Protection District.
Thank you. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and adopt the resolution.
We have a motion by Councilman Mullen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor?
Second.
Opposed? It is approved. Next, we move to, I believe, the final hearing notice, Madam Clerk.
Yes, today's last hearing and hearing number 7 is to amend the local law number 2-1993, chapter 21, solid waste of the Islip Town Code.
JR, is there anyone to speak on this hearing?
No, but this was the public hearing that we were going to adjourn until the next
Yes.
town board meeting on June 16th, I believe.
No, I understand. Yeah, there are some changes that still
Motion
have
to
to be
adjourn.
made.
Motion
So
to adjourn.
motion to adjourn by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman
Second.
Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is adjourned. Okay, that's it for the hearings. Thank you, Peter. And we will now move to item 1 on the agenda, meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. I'll call for a motion to convene the board. Motion by
I'll
Councilman
make the
Mullen,
motion to,
second.
that was
Councilwoman Mullen made the
Second by
motion,
Bergen.
second by Councilwoman Bergen. Great, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? The meeting is convened, the
Aye.
quorum is present, and we have with us Bill Mannix. Bill?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the agency board. William Mannix, Executive Director, Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency, 40 Nassau Islip. We have a number of items for your consideration today, the first of which is the approval of the minutes from the April 21st meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
second,
by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are approved. We'll move to the next item.
The next 2 items on the agenda are related. They're inducement resolutions. The first of one involves Duradyne National Corp. Duradyne is a manufacturer of sheet metal accessories for the HVAC equipment industry. They're currently located at 81 Spence Street in Bayshore in a 130,000 square foot industrial building. They employ 180 people there, and they need to increase their manufacturing capacity. They will accomplish that by moving the current warehouse distribution from that facility to another facility, which will be the subject of the next item on the agenda. In order to accomplish this, they need to renovate the building, expending $450,000. And this will create an additional 23 positions at the manufacturing facility on Spence Street.
Great. Are there any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor,
Motion.
second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? The
Aye.
resolution's approved. We'll move then to item 4.
Item 4 on the agenda, again, is related to item 3. So the company needs to move their distribution facility, warehouse distribution facility, and they plan on doing so in a new 45,000 square foot building that will be built for them by a developer slash landlord. That new building is estimated to be $7.3 million worth of construction. And once their warehouse distribution moves to that facility on Central Avenue in Hauppauge, they will add an additional 36 positions at that site, bringing their total added newly created jobs to 59, and total capital expenditure for the two projects of almost $8 million.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Bill,
Next
number
item on the
5.
agenda is an authorizing resolution for a project that we approved at our last meeting for Entourage Commerce, also known as Pharmapax, for a project up at 80 Wilshire Boulevard in Edgewood.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second
Second.
by
That was-
Council, I'm sorry.
That
Councilwoman
was
Bergen.
Kate.
Supervisor.
It was
Okay.
Kate.
All right, sorry. It might help because there seems to be a little bit of a delay. If you kind of just raise your hand if you want to make the motion, and that might help speed it along a little. So the motion by Councilwoman Mullen and second by
Second,
Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Okay, move on to the
Item-
next. Bill,
Number 6 on the agenda is an authorizing resolution for a project that we induced at the last meeting on April 21st. It's for a project named R Squared, which is a mixed-use development project at the Bay Shore Railroad Station.
are there any questions? Motion? Motion by
motion by
Councilman
Councilman
Cochran.
Bergen.
Councilman Cochran, and a second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Approved. Next, Bill?
Item 7 is a authorizing resolution, again, for a project we induced at our last meeting involving Multi-Dyne Electronics for a manufacturing facility on Hoffman Avenue in Hauppauge.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second. The motion by Councilwoman Mullen, and I think a second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. That was Councilwoman Mullen with a second by Cochran, and I saw the hands. So again, there seems to be a delay in the audio. So if you just kind of a little bit like that, I'll see it. All those in
Supervisor,
favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Supervisor Carpenter, this is Matt Hogan from VHB. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to make everyone in the meeting aware we're tracking a large internet outage affecting what looks to be the entire Metro New York and Islip area. So if we see any slowness with connections or video issues, it's unfortunately out of our control, but it looks like the providers are working on it.
Okay, that sort of explains what's been going on. Thank you very much, Matt.
No problem.
Madam
We will
Supervisor,
plod through.
Madam Supervisor, could we please recap number 8?
Number 8 was a motion by Councilwoman Mullen and a second by Councilman Cochran.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bill, number 9.
For a moment there, I thought the outage was because everyone was watching our broadcast, but
It could very well be. You never know.
number 9 is I'm sorry. Did we do number 8? I don't think we did number 8.
We did 8.
Okay. Number 9 is an amended authorizing resolution for a mixed-use project located at Park Avenue in Bay Shore. And this, the amended authorization here is because this project will be increasing its borrowing from $8.5 million to $26 million, and we have to approve that and the mortgage recording tax that goes along with it. And just remind everybody on the board, the agency is not involved in any way with the actual liability to pay that mortgage back.
Okay, are there any questions? Hearing none, motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor?
I have to abstain on that, Angie. One abstention, please.
Okay, we have 4 in favor, 1 abstention. Thank you, Councilwoman. We will move now to item 10, Bill.
Item 10 is another amended authorizing resolution. This is essentially the same, for the same purpose, same size project, similar owners for 11 Maple Avenue in Bay Shore. And again, the mortgage amounts are the same as the previous one. And again, we are not subject to repayment of that mortgage. We are not on the mortgage for that purpose at all.
Okay. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor?
One more
Opposed?
abstention, Madam
We have 4
Supervisor.
in favor, 1 abstention.
Thank
The
you.
motion carries. There doesn't seem to be any other business coming before us.
I
Will
just
be
want
adjourned.
I just want to clarify
Right,
before you
Bill?
adjourn,
Sure.
I just want to clarify. Did we actually approve an authorizing resolution for Creative Bath products?
I thought not,
No.
to be honest with you. I think when Olga asked who made the motion in the second, it was the previous resolution 7. So perhaps we ought to, in the interest of being safe, address resolution number 8.
Yes, that was my perception also. So,
Yeah.
resolution number 8 is an authorizing resolution for Creative Bath products. We induced the project at the last meeting, and they are currently located at 250 Creative Drive, Central Islip.
Any questions on that?
I can make that motion.
Okay, are there any questions, though?
No.
Hearing none, motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by
Second.
Councilman Cochran. All those in favor, opposed, approved. Okay, now we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Mullen. The Islip Industrial Agency stands adjourned. We will now move to item number 2 on the agenda, which is a meeting of the Islip Foreign Trade Zone. We have a motion to convene the meeting
Motion,
by Councilman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilman O'Connor. The motion of the Islip Town Foreign Trade Zone Board is convened, a quorum being present, and we will hear from Mr. Hemingway.
Thank you, and good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the Foreign Trade Zone Board. My name is Brad Hemingway, and I'm located over at 1 Trade Zone Drive in Ronkonkoma as the Executive Director for the authority. I have a number of items for your consideration this afternoon. First one being approval of our minutes from the February 11th, 2020 meeting of the Town of Islip Foreign Trade Zone Board.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second
Motion.
by Councilman Cochran. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? The meeting minutes are approved.
Aye.
Next item.
The next 2 are assignments for 2 of the parcels here in the Foreign Trade Zone. First assignment being a request for authorization to extend 12 land leases with the Town of Islip to June 30th, 2060.
Any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
And
Next,
here are the
Brad.
assignments. Next one is authorization to assign sublease to CS1 Realty LLC. That's for parcel 12 here in the foreign trade zone.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Next is an authorization to amend and assign sublease to CS2 Realty for parcel 13.
Any questions? Motion by
Motion.
Councilman Cochran, thank you. Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Any other business, Brad?
No further items for today, Madam Supervisor.
Thank you so much. Hearing none.
Move we
I'll
adjourn.
entertain a motion to adjourn by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Mullen. We stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. We now move to item number 3, which are the bid awards. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen.
We have a motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 4 are the option year resolutions. Again, are there any questions? Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, thank you. Second by Councilman Cochran, thank you. Motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, we move to the authorization to clean up and secure certain properties in the town of Islip. I'll board up some cleanups. Taryn Jewell from the Town Attorney's Office. Taryn, are you ready?
Ready. Good afternoon, Madam Supervisor, members of the town board, town clerk, Taryn Jewell, Assistant Town Attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. Number 1, to demolish the premises located at 4 Thomas Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with the property interest in this premises.
This and the next 2 items, the first 3 are next or across from one another. They're all
Yes.
demos. Can we take them as one resolution for items 1, 2, and 3?
I don't believe we can, only because they're all separate tax map numbers.
Okay, all right. So on item 1, which is 4 Thomas Drive, are there any questions? Councilwoman Bergen? Yes?
Motion.
Oh, thank you.
No,
Motion by
I'm
Councilwoman
making a motion.
Bergen. Yeah, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next,
Number 2, to demolish the premises located at 7 Thomas Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with the property interest in this premises.
thank you, Taryn. Any questions? Motion
Motion.
by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Thank you.
Number 3, to demolish the premises located at 8 Thomas Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with the property interest in this premises.
Thank you, Taryn. Are there any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 4, to board and clean up the premises located at 11 Taft Street, Brentwood. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, an unsecured above-ground pool, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 5, to demolish the premises located at 11 Thomas Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Thank you. Any questions? Motion? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by
Motion.
Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? We have Councilman O'Connor and Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
Number 6 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 7, to demolish the premises located at 12 Thomas Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Thank you. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 8, to demolish the premises located at 15 Thomas Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Thank you. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 9, to board and clean up the premises located at 31 Rossmore Avenue, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Thank you, Taryn. Any questions? Motion?
Supervisor, on this application, we actually do have somebody who wishes to be heard, TJ Christie. So what I will do is promote him to a panelist, and he will be able to ask a question of the board, okay?
Okay. If everyone could please mute who's not speaking. And Mr. Christie?
Mr. or Mrs. Christie, are you there?
Looks like they're unmuted.
They're unmuted. They did
They're
have,
unmuted.
they did have a question regarding the time frame on the closure of the property.
Okay, Mr. Christie, no, we cannot hear you. It's looking like he's still muted. Let me see if I can unmute him.
It's Mrs. Christie, and she is.
Okay, sorry for that, Mrs. Christie.
Mrs. Christie, if you type your question, I will ask it. Oh, it's just about the timeline. So if this resolution is approved today, the typical timeline, Taryn, is about 2 to 3 weeks.
But I did speak to an attorney for this property, so we did give them 3 weeks to come into compliance. So if they don't come into compliance within the 3 weeks, then we'll send out our own crews to do the work.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I hope that answers your question, Mrs. Christie. Okay, then we have a motion. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
All right, Matt, can you just put Mrs. Christie to switch her back to an attendee?
Sure thing. All set.
Thank you.
Okay, Taryn, I guess we're on item 10.
10, yep. Number 10, to board and clean up the premises located at 52 Ash Street, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and linear debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with the property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 11,
Number 11, to demolish the premises located at 81 Old Broadway Avenue, Sayville. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. There is severe fire damage, and the structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises. I will say I spoke to several people on this property. I spoke to both an attorney for the bank and an insurance adjuster. So again, we did give them time to try to come into compliance, but we were asking for it to still be passed.
okay, thank you. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Motion.
Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. 96 Smith, Taryn?
So number 12, to board and clean up the premises located at 96 Smith Street, Central
Hold
Islip.
on one second. We do have someone that wished to be heard on number 11.
Okay, well,
sorry.
it's been approved. We certainly will be happy to listen.
Okay, they did have their hand raised. It's Stacy Butler. I'm going to promote her to a panelist right now.
Okay. Miss Butler?
Okay. So she should be unmuted. Ms. Butler, are you here?
Yes, hi. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
So we were wondering about the time frame as to how long we have until we need to demolish the place.
I can answer that. So I spoke to both the insurance adjuster and the attorney, and I think that they were trying to figure out who is actually trying to take ownership. So I gave them 3 weeks to figure that out, and then whoever is going to take ownership has to then start filing the permits for demolition.
Okay.
Okay, who was the name of the attorney that you spoke to at Bank of America?
Justin Robinson, I believe.
Okay.
And just so the record's clear, what is your name and address for the record?
My name is Matthew Butler. My address is 34 Sycamore Street, Kingston, New York, 12401. However, obviously I grew up on 81 Old Broadway, and I'm here representing with my mom, who still owns 81 Old Broadway in Sayville.
Okay,
Okay.
Are you with your mother now? Is that
Yes, I'm here.
is that McKenna or Stacy?
Stacy.
Okay, does McKenna also wish to be heard on this?
No.
Okay,
Okay, so I think hopefully
She was here
Taryn
to help me.
answered your question.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank
Thank
you. Be
You're
safe.
very welcome. Thank you. You too, be safe. All right, Taryn, then we're on 12.
Yes. Number 12, to board and clean up the premises located at 96 Fish Street, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Okay. Are there any questions? Anyone wishing to speak on this?
we did have somebody, no, we don't have anyone in this application.
Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion if there are no questions. Motion by
Motion.
Councilwoman Bergen, second.
Second.
By Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. We're up to 13, I believe.
Number 13, to clean up the premises located at 168 Westwood Drive, Brentwood. On this property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was read to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullins, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 14, to board and clean up the premises located at 175A Caleb's Path, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, evidence of squatters, high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Is there a motion? Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 15, to demolish the premises located at 1275 East 3rd Avenue, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
All right, we do
Motion by
have somebody.
Council- I'm sorry,
we
did
do
you have
have-
a question, John?
No, we do have somebody from the public here on this application.
Okay.
MJ McCormack. I'm going to promote him or her to a panelist and allow them to speak.
Hello?
Hi, is this MJ McCormack?
Yes, it is. Thank you. I appreciate you calling on me. Actually, I was sitting in to hear the prior discussion
just-
on
If you
Thomas.
can, if you can just state your name for the record.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, Madam Chair. Mary Jane McCormack, 4 Tudor Lane, Bayshore, New York, 11706.
Okay. What were your questions?
Well, initially it was for the properties on Thomas, which you've already addressed, and I'm so thrilled that they'll be taken care of. And I decided to stay on because there's another one down the road on East 3rd, which you are addressing now, which, you know, they're all a danger to the community. So I appreciate that you are addressing them and taking care of them. And that's probably about it. I mean, I'm sure it'll take maybe a few months for it to all, you know, transpire. But we all do appreciate it over here that this is being addressed. Thank you. Thank you, board
Thank you
members.
so much. Thank you so much for saying so. And I know it's been a long time coming, but we're finally here. So thank you for your comments.
Okay, thank you. And stay
Any
well
other-
all. No,
Oh,
thank-
yes, you too. Be safe.
Okay.
Any
day.
questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran and second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. And the last
Next
item
one.
on,
Number 16, to demolish the premises located at 1740 North Thompson Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
thanks, Taryn. Any questions?
We
Motion and the speakers?
do have somebody on the at the in the waiting room who would like to be heard on this application.
Okay.
I will promote them to a panelist. Ashley Reagan. Okay, Ms. Reagan, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great, thank you. My name is Ashley Reagan. I'm an attorney with Davidson Fink. Our office is located at 28 East Main Street, Suite 1700 in Rochester, New York, 14614. We represent the plaintiff in the mortgage foreclosure action that's currently pending with this property. I was able to call yesterday to speak with one of the town attorneys to advise on the status. Currently, we are attempting to settle this matter, which would, without going into the settlement discussions, result in payoff of the mortgage. However, that has not finalized yet. We also do not have a judgment yet. So the bank's options are slightly limited at this time because title still vested in the borrower's name, and we do not have judgment.
Okay.
Who's she spoke to?
Oh, okay. So does that, any of that preclude us from moving forward?
It doesn't. So just who's the owner, and there, unfortunately, the bank doesn't have any ownership, so they
Okay.
can't do it.
All right.
I'll make a motion.
Questions? Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Karen, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Aaron. Okay, I'm gonna remove Mr. Reagan. And I'm gonna remove Taryn. Goodbye, Taryn. Okay.
Okay, then, we will now move to item 6, authorization for supervisor to enter into a license agreement with Kevin Conway for one parcel of town-owned Bay Bottom lease land for the purpose of shellfish cultivation in the Great South Bay. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
I recuse.
Okay, we have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. It is approved. Next, we move to item 7, town board approval to designate Vasto Systems, the sole source for sales, service, and parts for Galbraith Inc. products to be utilized at MacArthur Compost Facility. Any questions? Motion. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. We move to item 8, which are the appropriation transfers. Does anyone have any questions? Is there a motion?
Motion.
By Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, item 9, authorization for the supervisor to execute an agreement with Language Line Solutions to provide translation services to the town of Islip. Are there any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 10, authorization for the supervisor to enter into various agreements for programs to be held throughout the town to be funded by either registration fees or grants. Again, with any of the programs that we hopefully will have this summer, we just urge everyone to check to see if that particular program is in fact going forward. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Second.
Councilwoman Bergen, thank you, Trish. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Next, item 11, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with Card Connect to purchase and install credit card readers at various Parks Department locations. Any questions? Motion? Motion by
Motion.
Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 12, authorization for the supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Department of Homeland Security for the use of the Islip pistol and rifle range. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second. Is there a second by Councilwoman Bergen? Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 13, authorization for supervisor to enter or to execute a license agreement with the Parks Foundation of Islip Town for the purpose of constructing a park for individuals with special needs at Brookwood Hall Park in East Islip. Are there any questions? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item 14, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept funding from Suffolk County Office for the Aging for expanded in-home services for the elderly program. Any questions? Motion by
Motion.
Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 15, authorization for supervisor to enter into an agreement with Eastern Long Island Academy of Applied Technology, a division of Eastern Suffolk BOCES, to provide a work experience program for students for the 2021 school year. I want to particularly thank our Director of Personnel, Arthur Abadi, and Tom Owens, who really were very forward-thinking and embraced this whole concept, and it's worked out really, really well for us in the town and certainly for the students. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 16, Town Board acceptance of a donation of 24 insulated chest coolers from Covanta to assist in the delivery of home-delivered meals to the town's vulnerable senior population meal recipients. Last week, we probably distributed over 5,000 meals. They're doing an incredible job in the Division of Senior Services. I'll make this motion. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 17, authorization for the supervisor to enter into agreement to renew and modify the license agreement with Sea Toys Limited for the concession stand located at the Bay Shore Marina. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Supervisor,
Authorization, yes,
before we move on, did we skip number 13, the Parks Foundation?
no.
Oh, we did.
That motion was made by Councilman O'Connor. With
Okay,
a second by Councilwoman Bergen.
okay,
How's that for memory recall?
very good.
Item 18, authorization for town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to consider a one-year contract for Bayshore Brightwater's Rescue Ambulance for emergency ambulance services within the district. This is for the hearing. I'll make that motion. Second. Second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 19, authorization for supervisor to execute an agreement with ProShams to provide the requested services of developing and maintaining an ordinance and a mortgage in default registry. Any questions? Motion by Councilwoman Mullins, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Thank you. Item 20, authorization for the town clerk to extend the renewal deadline for taxicab applications to June 30th, 2020. I'll make that motion. Second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 21, authorization for the town to purchase and install credit card readers in various town facilities and to enter into an agreement with IntelliPay to provide merchant, user, and gateway services for said card readers. Any questions? Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 22, the town board appointment of Inez Cruz as a member of the planning board. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. And we have no other business to come before us. I just want to thank everyone, especially our incredible employees in the town who are handling the challenges of this COVID incredibly so. And just to remind everyone that we're not out of the woods. We have to continue to stay the course. We have to continue to do our part so that hopefully our next town board meeting will be live and in person. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody. I'll go ahead and end the meeting. All set, Chair?
Okay,
Great. Just wanted to make sure. Thanks, everybody.
thanks.
Thank you.